Yes, it's time for some Park Beyond. And yes, I got the game. Thank you to Bandai Namco and the folks at this wonderful game. They just dropped it over to me after having a little talk on Twitter. So thank you for that. Today we're going to do something that many of you have asked in the comments I have seen, at least on Twitter, about this game. We are attempting at something more realistic and more like normal. So we are building a coaster that is at least somewhat realistic. Okay, spoiler ahead. It did not really work, but more about that later in the real-time part. We're going to plop down a couple of things. I'm going to show you the game, but I will take these 8-ish minutes now to talk about my experience in the game so far, while you see the coaster being built in the background. So let's start with the obvious. The coaster builder itself is a lot closer to what we have seen in Roller Coaster Tycoon World. I don't think that I have expected to name that game again after the disaster that this game was, but in fact, I remember very well that at the beginning, when it wasn't really obvious that Planet Coaster is going to be far better than Roller Coaster Tycoon World, because the first alpha of Roller Coaster Tycoon World still was somewhat promising before 17 devs have changed. And so they introduced their coaster builder, which many believed, even up to this point, that it had been more, encouraging than the one we got after all in Planet Coaster. The reason for that is that it is fully node-based, and you got a lot more free form factor in terms of building better hardlining and stuff like that. I have to say, it's very similar to what we had over there. However, and please take this all with a huge grain of salt, this game is in beta. It's the first ever playable version for people that do not work at the factory, so to say. So they really need to have a lot of test data gathered, and I hope I can actually contribute to that. There are so many hiccups in here. I'm gonna show you some in the real-time part. Obviously, you're also getting a little POV later. Don't worry about that one. But yeah, especially when it comes to realistic building, or more like, it's not even realistic, it's more like clean building, I want to start saying. There are a couple of issues we have over here. However, let's speak about the game itself, because I don't really do that much with the game other than placing this coaster, doing a bit of, landscaping and nature and stuff like that. I have to admit that the landscaping is easily... It's great. It's easily great. It's exactly the same as in Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. It is just smooth, it's fluid, it does what it does, it's the same controls, it's the same tools, so why change something if it ain't broken? I think they thought the same, and copying at a certain point is very well, as Prehistoric Kingdom has done pretty much the same, even though they did not go to a above 90-degree angle. You can do this in here, so it's fully voxel based. You can build like very nice overhanging shapes, you can make tunnels, you can make things like that. Really cool. I do enjoy that. It also felt a lot quicker to be built as in Planet Zoo, so it didn't have really that much hiccup. So really nice. You can easily shape things in no time. That felt absolutely great and modern and fluid and really nice. The same goes actually for dropping water in, and so really cool. And one thing I want to mention, because that's so great, if you have like two water volumes next to each other, like a lake on the right and a lake on the left, and you just connect them with the tool so that it goes actually like in a ditch or something, it connects those two bodies of water automatically, which is great, and it all automatically takes the bigger lake in terms of which water you use. So if you have like a muddy water on the left and a clean water on the right, the one that's bigger will become the overall water, which is cool. Like little things like that I do actually enjoy quite a bit, and it shows that I have put a bit of thought into that. Really love that. The graphics just overall, they're okay, they're good. There's nothing that would kind of make me go crazy, because it is like standard graphics. It's not even that big of a jump from Planet Coaster even, but I'm not even sure if a game like that really needs it. I have no clue if they will add something like weather. I have no clue if they have seasons or anything. There are some different maps planned, as I know, in different regions, but I'm not sure if anything like weather will be in here. Maybe they've mentioned that, I don't really know if so, but it's fine, it's decent. Yeah, a couple of things. One thing we have to talk about is the pathing, because we all know that pathing is a disaster in most of the games we play, and frankly I have to admit it doesn't really look much better in here. It seems like pathing is just terrible to pull off. It's the third or fourth dev studio in the span of a couple of years that have made a pretty similar game, and all of them have, you know, brought in different pathing. And all of them suck in a way. I'm sorry to say that, but you know, at the end of the day, it seems to be very complicated with modern day pathfinding of the AI. And I think we have to stress that real quick, because many people in my comments also talk about, hey, remember how good the pathing was in Roller Coaster Tycoon and blah and blah. And you know, the sheer amount of AI pathfinding in comparison to those old games is insane. Back in the day, you just had a few people that were animated pixels, which did not really follow any certain rule other than making sure that the path looked crowded. Nowadays, we have people in there who have different tasks to fulfill. They have destinations, they have a different treat to them, like being teens or adults or whatever. They have different desires, and they can interact with the environment in so much more ways, you know, so many more ways, that it just naturally is so much more complicated. And I think this is the reason why. Gotta say that Prehistoric Kingdom may have the edge at the moment when it comes to the overall locomotion, but then again, the people in Prehistoric Kingdom still don't really exist. So they just have to show, like, it seems to be hard, you know, but we are here with Park Beyond. And that is definitely something to know. One thing I want to talk about before we go into the real-time part, as you can see that the coaster is shaping up a little in the background, is the overall amount of pieces in here for a beta is already pretty decent. I had quite some struggles with the building, not gonna lie. It was really not that easy to gasp at the first blast. I'm gonna show you some of this in the real-time part, but I tried something like to build like a little station building or something. It just didn't work, and I don't know exactly why, what I did wrong, or if something was broken. Especially the advanced move tool, which is in here as well, which is great. Many people will love that. It just didn't feel like very much working. It definitely just had some hiccups here and there. Again, remember, it's early beta. It's even the closed beta before the beta, so they may even fix a couple of things in the next coming day. As I said, this is the very first moment in time where they get some data from actual players, and you know we are here to break games, not to just do exactly what the devs want from us, right? So yeah, as you can see, here is a tool. We have some scaling and stuff, which is great. So I should talk about these things. There's a lot potential in here, but it's a long way to go. I will not hide that fact. And it's definitely, I can already tell in this early stage, it's definitely leaned more towards the casual players who just want to build and click and do a little park at the, you know, at the get-go really quickly. Because at this point, I think building and stuff really is a little more intricate. As you can see over here, it just did not work. And I tried building a building then, as you can see over here. And yeah, even in this space over here, it seemed to be a bit tricky. I just wanted to move it down. It didn't work. I didn't exactly know what the collision was doing. A couple of things I'm going to show you in real time. That makes more sense in this case. But yeah, the coaster is pretty much done. We're going to ride it at the end of the video. So make sure to stick with me, because that's the ride is interesting, at to say the least, but there is something going on with the camera I'm going to explain, which some of you will like, but yeah, just in general, that's that for the time-lapse. I really hope you enjoyed at least a little bit of time-lapse. Let's have a look at the game, in-game. Here we are in the real-time part, and as you can see, there is the coaster. Right away, I want to show you quickly the overview while I'm going to the precision camera. That's easier to show. This is the full layout, as you can tell. I think I quite like it. As I said, with the tools given, it's not really like a super realistic layout. It doesn't really feature too many elements. We can actually make like a little off-ride first of all, to give you a little feeling of the game right away. So the camera controls are pretty decent. You can just go over here, as you can see, just following around. A little hiccup over here. I do have 120 FPS, not sure what the blurring is going on here, a little bit of flickering, but yeah. So the mouse cursor actually is highlighting a couple of things in the background, even though I have pressed the middle mouse button. That's a bit weird, but yeah, you can see just the coaster going through here. Looks rather smooth. There's a little hiccup in here. I'm going to show you the editing of the coaster after we've done the POV. Or actually, we can try to have a new POV. I think that's even better. Don't want to make the video too long, but I guess you guys want to see a couple of things. So yeah, this is the coaster. There you go. It's going to smoothly go back. What we don't have is an entrance right now, and I thought it's gonna be good to show it to you, because that way I can also show you real quick how the system works. So I'm going to put the coaster entrance here, really nice, and this is where the pathing is starting. So you can see this is dragging the path relatively easy. You can see there's a grid version. We can actually make like a little grid so that we can have like a little more straight path. You can have the grid wide width, grid height, whatever. You can do whatever you want, and you can do the path width. As soon as you build one piece, you can also change the width of the path, which is also pretty good. But first things first, we want to go down, and one thing I like is how easy it is to go up and down. You just hold shift, and this gives you free control over going down. If you want to delete a piece, you just go hover with your mouse over, press delete, easy as it goes. So we are going to just drag it all to the ground and then just drag it all the way, have like a long ramp over here, and then just automatically creates this kind of smooth, yeah, well, actually it should be smooth, but it isn't. But now if you click away, you can just, oh, you can't adjust this now. Okay, I think maybe for the queue you can't adjust the path width, I think. I haven't seen that one. Again, anyways, let's just bring this real quick to an end. We have like a little swervy path here, so why not? Just, oh my god, it's a little bit broken. Whatever, you can just try to make it as good as possible. We can also raise it over here. Yeah, like that. And then let's find a little way to go through. I think we have to go over, or we can go under the coaster. Is it? That looked a little bit weird, but let's see. Okay, we can go under here. That's nice. Is that really like safe? It's not really safe, is it? Now we're just gonna leave it the way it is. But you can see the collision is not really that big of an issue anyhow. Let me just quickly connect the path real quick. There is the queue. How does that one look? Okay, that looks a little bit more fancy. Let's just keep it that way. Just go straight. There you go. And let's make a little roundish tour here. I have no idea how long they will queue up, so let's just do this. And then it's going to connect over here with a very freaky path thing. Oh my god. Okay, so this is how it's looking. I'm gonna wait if people come in. Just gonna change to the other camera real quick. By pressing C, you can change the camera. Now, as I said, I promised you to show a couple of things. So first thing we're doing is, are the people coming in? Yes, they are, but we are going to change the coaster first. So if you click on the coaster, you can see it is relatively good for adults. It's brilliant for families, and it's not good for teens because it's not intense. But we can actually go and edit the ride. So while we're doing so, the coaster is doing a little ride, as you can see. And now you can go to all these nodes. For example, let's go to this one, and you can drag it if you want afterwards. And if you press, for example, the Alt key, you can change the banking. But as you can see over here, I'm not sure why exactly this happened in this space, but if I do this, you can see the coaster basically just doesn't do what it should do. Oh, look at that, we can join it here again. But yeah, so that is not really exactly what I wanted. But over here the same happens, because I would have loved to just have it a bit more different. But yeah, I just don't know why. But we can also try to just hover over this thing and then just say delete that. And we can basically try to connect this right away again. There you go. Maybe we have more luck with this connection now. Just holding down here, and then look at that, that works. So we can fix that a little. Look from above, that looks fine to me. We can also adjust this thing a little, but there was a little bit of a problem with the intersection here, but I think it's fine. If we change the banking on this one, it should be better. Like, it's quite a huge banking, to be honest, because it doesn't really have that much speed left. In general, we could just try to raise the whole thing, and then hopefully this is all gonna, oh my god. See, this is a problem. You don't have the redo undo, which is really a problem. So I'm gonna bring this back and try to keep it as straight as possible. It's nearly impossible to build something straight. This is something I really do hate. I'm not gonna lie, this is something that was really, really hard to achieve. Building something straight is almost impossible. So we're just going to try to bring this higher up. We can just take that node with us. Yeah, just trying to bring this even higher. There you go. And bring this higher too, and we can just do the same with this node. And then we can also change the orientation, so it's a bit of a more smooth element here. Oh, look at that. That was actually not too bad. That was actually creating like a way more smooth transition into it. So it should actually take a little bit more speed with it. And you can see it's like very wonky going up here. It's really, I'm not sure what exactly that is. But this is basically, in a nutshell, how you create these nodes. There should be a way to, make this a lot better. Also not sure why all the supports are gone. I think because I had too little elements. I can just try. Ah, there you go. You can add a segment in between if you want to make it more, as you just saw, have more control over. You can just add some segments. I did with less segments because the more segments you have, the higher the chance that this, you know, whole thing just goes weirder. Just trying to keep it as straight as possible. But yeah, this is the way it goes. And then we have some issues here with these things. It really is hard to achieve like a smooth coaster. We can adjust everything we want over here just to make it more smooth. You can try, but then from a different angle it just looks bad again. Very, very hard to achieve a good result. As you can see, there is something colliding, which should be the path, I guess, over here. But I think for the moment that just gives you an idea of how it looks. There was a little issue somewhere over here where a coaster track wasn't really connected. Was it in that back area here? I want to fix that real quick. Yeah, there you go. This is where another piece wasn't really doing what it should. Okay, so I just can't. So let's try to hover over this thing. Can I just, okay, well, actually, I want to delete this whole piece, thank you. And then just connect those, that doesn't work. Okay, can I click this direction? Well, bring a piece in, oh my god, this just completely breaks it. So I'm not sure what exactly is the issue with this piece. I can raise it a little and, yeah, again, as I said, beta and a little bit broke. Okay, look at that, we fixed it at least somewhat. We could just bring a, okay, that is not a good idea at all. I thought we could maybe fix it with, well, maybe we can actually fix it by raising this thing and just, okay, the roll has to be the same. Okay, never mind, let's keep it that way and do a couple other things. I want to make the, yes, modifications done. Oh, we need to first of all test it. So safety test. Now the ride has to test real quick. Unfortunately, you can't speed it up. So we have to watch the test. And while we watch the test, I'm just going to quickly give you a little kind of conclusion of the coaster builder. So as I said in my speed build already, it is doable, but it is very hard. And there are many things I like about this, the freeform factor and stuff like that, but I wish that there's a bit more, you know, a bit more ability to build straight pieces, angle pieces, have a control over the angle in general, like make sure that we get control over an incline, stuff like that, banking. It's good to have it free, but it would be awesome to have a lock or something like that, just in case that we want to build more realistic. And then obviously the coaster train is not really adjustable. You have to go to 5 cars, and you know, all these things together make up for a, you know, bit of a problem. By the way, I just noticed that the coaster track changed its color again. I changed it to a different color. You should have also seen that from the thumbnail. I just briefly noticed that this seems to be a little bit of a problem. Whatever. The coaster is built, and that's how it goes. I want to show you the 3 or 5 things that are really good. So test was successful. So we can actually now open the coaster real quick. There you go out of the precision camera. Also not sure why the freaking note up here is always showing, yeah, I'm in the camera, that's fine. One thing I really do like with the pathing is something we have been asking for so long. Also, you know, click them together rather easily, as you can see. However, you can choose to have a different railing for different types. So if we go for the concrete piece and just connect this here, you can also say, go to pathing, and then just say I want to have like this railing, heavy metal railing, and then this is here, and you can also change it on the go to like a wooden railing, but you can do the exact same with this path too. So have a wooden railing here too, like that, and you can mix and match the railing of the different path types, which is something that we really wanted from Planet Coaster in a long time, and we don't have quite yet. So that is pretty good. And you do also have different path types. You can see this is where you can change the width, obviously. Same goes from 4 to 12 or something. You can say tunneling, you can say sports, blah blah. I mean, this is the obvious. You have scenery items. There are a couple of scenery items, just quickly showing you how that works. Let's take that sculpt balloon. You can just put it down. There's, as I said, the freeform rotation over here, and you can scale it as you go. Really neat. Like, as I said, this tool is still very weird and not really reliable. You can plop this thing down here. And also it doesn't keep the scaling. You always have to add like another scaling afterwards. A couple of little things they have to fix, I guess. But other than that, it's relatively expectable. You can change and rotate on R. Really hope that they allow us to change the orientation of these things. At least it maintains the orientation. Just click them down. And obviously you can also select multiple pieces over here and then edit them on their own. The problem is still you don't have really the hotkeys don't really work, so that's a bit weird. You have to always click on it, so I wish to have like M or something as a default. Hello? Oh yeah, and it also changes the orientation every time you simply drag something down. Really not sure why, but you can build as that, you know. It's easy, it goes, it works, there's nothing to say about that. I might actually try in the coming days to build something in this game. Let's see how long I can deal with that, because frankly it is annoying. Real quick, like a very little quick look at the piece by piece building, the modular structures over here. It's basically what you expect. There are a couple of things, and then if we put down a let's get for a wall. There you go. This is like a wall piece over here. Let's take that one. You click it down and then it just snaps to the different areas. You can actually, as you can see, there's a grid on G. You can enable that. You can have the collision, which I still don't get what the collision means, but you can still enable and disable that. And then click it over, and on R you can rotate the piece. But the snapping is weird, to say the least. I mean, it's not really simple. As you can see, it really is not easy to put it down. Now it does have a different orientation for whatever reason, and it just automatically connects to that. And also like deleting is a pain, because you always have to and now I did it wrong, and there's no redo undo. The frustration level is relatively high, because a couple of core things are missing, just as redo undo, for example, and other things. But other than that, there is potential in here. You can also judge the graphics now on your own. This is the coaster, and as promised, we're going to do a little test now. Jump on, and while we're riding, let me just tell you something about the ride cam. This is going to be exciting, so let's jump on the ride. First of all, there you go, and jump on the ride. The music is going to be annoying, but whatever. It's actually annoying. So this is the ride cam, and while we go up on this beautiful straight hill, oh my god, I can already tell you, the camera does something that Roller Coaster Tycoon World also attempted, didn't achieve, and Planet Coaster also did not achieve at all. It is relatively smooth, despite the fact the track isn't. You'll notice that now. Let's have a little look how the coaster goes. So there you go. This is awesome. Oh, look at that. In the background, there's like someone ringing the door, but we shall not be distracted from that. There you go. Taking that wonderful leap around the left-hand side, having a little switcheroo here. Oh my god, that hurt. And then go into that twist over here. Yeah, something else that hurt. As you can see, the track is absolutely jagged. It's broken, it's weird. But the camera, for what the track is still pretty decently smooth. The reason for that is that the camera is hooked on basically the overall orientation of the coaster, which is a very, very good way of doing it. But yeah, so tell me in the comment what you think of this game so far. Are you interested in a stream maybe tonight? Let me know. So maybe we jump into this game once we live stream. I actually plan to do some Prehistoric Kingdom, but we never know. Let me know in the comments down below. I see you in the next one. And also, if you want to see more like that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. I talk to you in the next one. Have a good time, and goodbye.